how proud are you of Cole Caulfield being the next Mr. Saturday Night?
I don't know if I'm excited about it. I'm kind of upset about it, to be honest.
It's not you?
No.
Junior,
Yeah,
Mr.
Junior.
Saturday Night.
Yeah. How about, like, we could call him Mr. Saturday Evening?
I like that. Cole deserves the evening. You're the night.
Yeah, the title hasn't moved on. We'll rename the title.
I like that.
All right, welcome to Never Offside. Today we have a goat on the pod, Mr. Carey Price, with some color from Angela Price. So it's
It's the best. It's my birthday wish come true. All in a podcast. Pretty stoked to have my friends here in town, and we did a whole new setup because they were live here in my office. And yeah, it's so fun to just
I feel
chat
like it was
all things.
a long time coming for you.
Yeah, in like the perfect way to get them together, just in my natural habitat. But just so much fun catching up, and I hope people feel like the Carey that we see on the reg, and just he's such a normal guy that likes to tinker, very into the outdoors, as everybody knows, but just a regular guy who loves being a dad and is as soft-spoken as they come, but has really good stories to tell. So,
And a rare podcast get, which is cool for us. So
yes. Yeah. So it was just funny because last night we were just, I don't know, last week was a blur. And then I was going to be with them last night. They got in town yesterday. And I was like, I'll ask them in person, like when I see them, because I got to see his facial reaction. I was like, Carey, it's my birthday tomorrow, and all I want is for you to come on the podcast. I was like, will you do that? And he was like, sure.
perfect. You did it flawlessly executed. That was not a text ask. That was definitely a birthday wish in person.
It was a birthday wish, and my wish came true. So thank you.
Well, thank you, and happy birthday.
Yes, thank
Happy
you
birthday.
for my 21 balloons. I'm 21 in California.
I recycled some birthday balloons
love it.
for you.
Nobody has to know the age.
Yeah, like you can't tell.
It's great.
Or something. I don't know.
Sort of
Or
something.
something. So what are the plans tonight for the birthday or today?
Oh, you guys, the plans are to get my kids from school, take them to baseball, and nothing, really. The plans are nothing, but it's not to feel bad for myself. It's just another day in the life. But the prices are here, so we're going to hang, and the kids are going to hang. We're going to go fishing a little bit before we go our separate ways. And then Jeff comes in town Tuesday night after they play Tampa, and he will be in town Wednesday and Thursday here at home. So I'm going to pretend like my birthday's on Wednesday too, and we're going to go to dinner and like do everything.
Oh, so we're going to do a family dinner with Jeff on Wednesday in Florida.
Yeah, and probably the prices because they're here. So
Yeah, I figured. I mean, that would be crazy.
So it's just going to be like, it keeps on giving. And this episode is full of surprises with deliveries showing up left, right, and center, almost to an embarrassing amount. But my people
I'm not gonna
love
lie.
me.
At some point, I was like, "Is Julie doing this like in Clueless? Remember when she sends herself flowers?
Yeah,
like
right. If only I had that much time on my hands to send myself stuff. Nope.
Funny.
But I got Jeff's car shipped up, his truck shipped up to Minnesota today, so that feels good, and he'll have his own set of wheels to drive, not a rental car.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's always the shipping of the car is always just part of the trade life.
Yeah, I didn't think about it though, getting there when they are going to be on the road. Anyways, that'll be a problem for him to deal with.
Yeah, that's probably
Not
where-
mine.
That's where somebody from the team kind of steps in, and we just kind of have to ask for help.
Enough about me. You hosted like an event at SAP the other day. It was
Oh yeah, that was really cool. It was called Power Play Day, and it was basically like a live practice. So like fans got to come watch a practice. It was Friday during the day, so it was actually the turnout was huge for
it looked like it for a Friday.
Yeah. So that was really cool. And then I got to do an interview with Brody. just to fans, and they asked a lot about the podcast, which was cool. And just like I got to hear a lot from the listeners, just like in real life, like what they love the most and who they want to hear from and stuff. So it was fun to talk to everyone. And then had all the guys over again for yet another birthday. This is the birthday themed show.
It's the birthday week.
It's the birthday week. Will's birthday. So I had a lot of fans asking like what it was like, what it's like to have all these guys come over. Like, what's the vibe? What was it like? And I was thinking about you. I was like, it's basically the vibe of when all of Julie's like kids come in at the same time, like the chaos and just like the energy shift. All of a sudden things get loud.
Yes.
There's a million questions that you get asked, like just nonstop questions. It's kind of like that book, like if you give a mouse a cookie. You know that book, If you give a mouse a cookie? Yeah. And then they're just like, oh, can I have this? Oh, what's that? Lots of giggling. It's just so much fun. I love all the guys on this team. They're so fun. But I will say, Never Offside listeners almost got their dream come true on Saturday. Will and Mac came into this room, saw the podcast setup.
They were about to go live.
Decided, let's go live. Let's run this back, Kat. And I was like, yeah. So here they are. They somehow turn on the computer. They somehow get onto Riverside, which is our platform, and they get so far, the lights on, so far as to almost like getting in.
Too bad there's not a record button just for some random back footage.
I know. I was gonna say I texted you guys. I was like, the guys want to like hop on live right now.
Hop
like,
on,
is
press
that
record?
Yeah. So
wait, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, but there's no option to do that. That's not a thing. You can't just like come on and just do a podcast. Like we have a whole team of it, records and all that stuff. So it's not possible. Yeah. But if it just
that would have been
about,
funny. They could have gone live on our Instagram. That would have been.
Yeah, their energy is a little.
Yeah, I get it. If it's anything like my children, I get it.
Yeah, but it was kind of funny. Like I was standing here and they're just like trying to like get in, and it was like that scene in Zoolander, where they're like trying to get into the computer. Like I was just like dying laughing, just watching them try to make a podcast happen. But someday again, we'll run it back. So yeah, happy birthday to all of you. My family.
Thank you. I thought you brought the balloons for me. We're just gonna pretend like
I did. No, these are this is the background for a reason. I recycled them. Yeah, so.
It's amazing. I feel the love. I appreciate it. But up next, we're going to chat with my friends, Carrie and Angela Price, all things San Jose Sharks, all things back from his time with the Habs, many memories. We do a Habs superlatives with him, and he brings up some names that are like in the vault that of teammates that fit the bill there, and all things that are happening in Carrie's life right now. And it's just such a fun listen, and we hope you enjoy it. And that'll be up next. Welcome back to Never Offside. Today's guest is a special one. My birthday gift come true. He's won the Masterson Memorial Trophy, the Hart Memorial Trophy, the Ted Lindsay Award, the Vezina Trophy, the Jennings Trophy. He's a 6-time All-Star. He's the all-time winningest goalie in the history of the Montreal Canadiens, an Olympic gold medalist. He's a former teammate of Jeff and current teammate of Ty's, but he's also husband to my best friend Ange, who's over here in the corner. Say hi. And a father to 3 beautiful children. Please welcome my bud, CP Carey Price.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Is this your first podcast?
I've done 2 other ones. It's a very rare appearance, though.
Thank you so much for joining us, Carrie. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you, too. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, it's fun to be on the same team again.
Yeah, right?
Okay, back to that in a minute. The Prices are in Florida for their spring break. They did all the theme parks that Orlando had to offer, and now they're decompressing in South Florida with what was going to be the Petries, and it is still the Petries, but missing one.
I was going to say, I wanted to know how this all went down. Was this planned? Was Disney World planned, and then it was like, oh, and it's going to be Julie's birthday. Let's go celebrate. That's how this went down?
We were like, we got to get down there and see Jeff play because we missed the 1000th game.
Oh.
And then we're like, since we're going to be down there, let's do Disney World and all that.
Oh my God! So this was the makeup for the 1,000th game miss. Oh no!
Still,
hockey's funny.
Hockey's funny, but as luck would have it, they will still see Jeff play just on the opposing team on Thursday.
Wow.
So
That's weird how that worked out, but we're happy
Here
to
we
be
are.
able to go watch.
Oh, I love that. This is so fun. So
yeah, I think Ange and I are most excited to sit in the stands with Carrie during an NHL game.
Oh my God! How's that going to work?
I don't think I've sat like in the actual stands of an NHL rink since I was probably like Liv's age. I don't think.
Whoa!
So we're gonna break barriers here.
Julie's going to be your personal security.
I'm gonna be security. We're bringing a couple of the boys. We're gonna buffer the ends with. We're gonna put them right in the middle.
I think I'm gonna fly under the radar for the most part. I think though.
Let's announce on this podcast.
Yeah, everybody who's listening, hey, the Panthers will take some more ticket sales right now. So here we go.
Yeah, we just exposed a very cool secret.
We should do. I should message the media people and be like, do a lookalike camera like during on the jumbotron and do.
An ISO cam on me?
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Anyways, all right, let's get into it because
so good.
we promised Carrie an extra 3 hours at Bass Pro Shop for doing this. We got to talk a little bit about hockey. Now that you're a San Jose Shark on paper, how was that news? Like when you got news that you were going to be traded to them, where were you? I don't even think I ever asked Ange this.
Well, I knew it was coming because I have a no move clause in my contract. So my agent actually got a hold of me about the week before, so I kind of knew it was coming. And in my view, at that point, it was probably the best thing I could do to help the Habs out at that point. So they asked me, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever I can do to help out the team, and it was made official and. It's the first time I'd ever been traded in my life.
And then you were on a plane the next week to go do your physical. It was pretty much like business as usual.
Yeah, it was weird. It was definitely weird going to a different facility for a training camp, but got to see Toff, which was nice. Got to see him briefly. I was only there for, a couple of hours, so there's a few guys on the team and in and around the locker rooms that I'd met before. I got to see Jumbo. It was nice to see. It's like having a conversation with that guy is like having a cup of coffee. He's just so energetic and positive. So it was good to see him. And I was only there for I think a total of about 20 hours, and I came home.
Did you meet any of the baby sharks?
Yeah, I met Mac real briefly. Like I didn't want to guys are kind of like doing their thing, getting ready to go on the ice, and I didn't want to take up a whole lot of everybody's time, so I just
as if they would care for you to take up their time.
You're like, please.
Did Ty tell you that he pranked the baby sharks?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
What was your reaction?
I wish I was. I wish I was coming back to play. Like I do miss playing hockey. Like I miss playing the games probably the most. Like I guess that. The camaraderie and the preparation, I think, leading up to the games and like the feeling you get before you get on the ice. I think that's probably the most I miss about hockey.
Did you or Ange come up with that tweet, that amazing tweet?
Which one?
Always a teal.
Oh, the teal one. Yeah, that was me. I sat down for all of 5 minutes and.
All of 5 minutes, Care Bear.
It was great.
It was
Always
perfect.
a have just a teal one for now.
Yeah.
These men of few words, man. When they speak, they come up with something good, and you listen. So.
I mean, that gave all the feels. That was a very emotional, well-spoken tweet, I guess you could say. So.
Well, if I can sit down and think about what I'm going to say, I usually say something smart. But if I don't, it's questionable.
Well. It's just kind of crazy, this whole you're a shark. But anyways, we're going to talk mostly about your time with the Habs. We're going to get into, we love doing this little superlatives game where so you got to think about all the rosters that you went through for the best answers. But before that, I know this story, but I always loved being, brought up to speed again and it, becoming new. you growing up playing hockey, you lived in Anaheim Lake. Can you tell a little bit about your situation growing up and how your dad used to drive you? I kind of thought about it last night when we were talking. Like, I spent my, weekends here in Florida on I-95 taking the boys to league games up, like, across in Orlando, Kissimmee. And then I'm like, what am I, like, I'm complaining to Carrie here, and his dad used to drive him or fly him in a plane to go to practice and games. So tell us more.
Yeah, well, Anaheim Lake's like a rural community. It's about 3.5 hours from the nearest minor hockey. So when I was real little, I think I was about 8 years old, I was enrolled in minor hockey, and Dad used to drive me because he had to practice. Like, it was kind of like mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd usually have like 1 or 2 practices that I would go to a week. So we drive, 3 hours to get to Williams Lake. I'd practice, and then we drive home so I can go to school the next day. And then when I started playing rep hockey, that's when the travel got even more intense, because I'd come in for practices twice a week, and then we would be off to Prince George, which is an additional 3.5 hours, or have to go to Kelowna 6 hours. So every trip was at least 6 hours long typically.
So what is this flying? I had not heard this story.
Yeah, so my dad had a pilot's license. Still does. He doesn't fly much anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
Keeps it up to date.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, he
so
keeps
cool.
it up to date, but he doesn't fly much anymore. So the flight, if we had a nice tailwind, it'd be like 45 minutes. If headwind, it'd be an hour and 15 minutes. So we kept like a little like Pontiac Firefly. I don't know if you know what those are. It's just a small little car to get us from the airport to the rink and then back to the airport again. So we just fly back and forth.
So how often did we fly and how often did we drive?
It was all weather dependent. Like, my dad was very cautious when it came to weather, because you're just flying a little Piper Cherokee airplane. Like, it's 4 seats. It's a really small plane, so I just had
So a hockey bag and you too.
pretty much. Yeah, that's all you had room for.
Wild.
So it was all weather dependent. If the weather was looking good, we'd fly, but if not, then we just truck it.
So obviously you preferred to fly to hockey practice.
Yeah, I did. He'd let me fly when
gonna
I was
ask,
little too.
Did
Like,
you learn how to fly
Ooh.
essentially?
Yeah, essentially. Like, and I never went and got a pilot's license or anything, but he, like, just watching him, like, I know how to fly it. So he never let me take off or land, which is understandable. I was only 9 years old at the time, so. But he used to let me take controls, and he'd say, okay, keep it at this elevation. I'd look at the instruments, and then he'd say, okay, keep it pointed at like that mountain over there. The wind would be pushing you, so I'd have to correct. So it was a good way to, I think a plane was probably the first thing I learned how to drive.
That's so great.
That is like a
So
most
plane,
interesting man in the
boat, then
world.
car, probably. Like, in that order. That is crazy.
Yeah, that's like literally like a most interesting man in the world fact that you flew to practice growing up.
Yeah,
so.
it was interesting. Like, my dad enjoyed flying, so he was all about it, so he got to do something he loved. He was taking me to do something that I love, so it worked for both of us.
Wow,
It's really amazing.
really cool.
Okay, so at what point did you realize, or your dad, whoever was kind of guiding you in the hockey world, like, oh, we have some talent here, like, you're gonna make it in the NHL? Like, at what point did it become like Carey Price is bound for the NHL?
Well, from a very young age, I always played like an age class older. From the time I was 11 years old, I was playing Pee Wee AAA as a goalie. So I think he always understood that I had a talent. And I don't think we like really thought that like the NHL was a very strong possibility, probably until I got drafted to the Western Hockey League. I got drafted in the first round of the Tri-City Americans. And then I ended up playing there as a 16-year-old. So, you kind of, when you're 16 years old, your draft year is a couple years away, and you start thinking, okay, I got a pretty good chance at this. And my dad was a goaltender. I don't know if you guys knew that, but he also played in the Western Hockey League. So it was kind of a goal of mine to play in the Western Hockey League like my dad. And then a couple years later, I was drafted by the Canadiens.
So was it always the goal to be goalie because of your dad?
Well, I started out as a defenseman, actually, when I was really little, and I think that was a good thing because it helped me work on my skating, and I think skating probably essentially was like the foundation of goaltending, and being able to play as a forward or defenseman kind of helped round me out, like make me a better skater, and that applies to goaltending even today. I think the better skater you are, the better goaltender you're going to be.
Wow.
Is there someone when you made it in the NHL? Well, we should mention also from Angie's podcast. She talked about how they met, but Carrie and Ange met in Tri-City. So once he was drafted there, that's where their love story started, and the rest is history.
Can I hear the story from you?
Yeah,
From
Carrie's
me?
version.
I want to hear Carrie's version.
Well, I just laid it on thick, and she just was swept off her feet, and that's all the story there is, really.
Oh
My
wow.
college roommate was desperate for someone to go to the hockey games with because she was dating a hockey player.
So Ange just tagged along, and then Carrie laid it on.
My version's better.
It is. Were you always this like quiet, humble man, like back then when you were growing up, or did you have like a little ego?
No, I think I've always been pretty reserved. I get that from my dad.
Well, yes.
My dad's a pretty quiet individual. My mom is the talkative of the two, and I'm probably more relatable to my dad.
Okay, so you and Ange, your parents, basically.
We have peanut gallery.
I was gonna say, even when I met him, like, I had no idea he was a good hockey player. Like, he led on 0 until I was like getting my nails done one day, and I was like, top prospect, Tri-City Americans. I'm like, hey,
I know him.
that's my boyfriend.
Oh my god.
No, she had the scouting report.
Were you just as more into like fishing and hunting and stuff back then too?
More fishing than hunting. My dad wasn't really a hunter. Like, he did some waterfowl hunting on the farm because he was a goalie. So like hockey season and hunting season don't line up all that great.
Did you take Ange on any like outdoorsy dates when we first started dating?
No, I don't think so.
So when I came out to Williams Lake, do you remember that?
Yeah,
And then we went up to Anaheim Lake.
yeah, but that wasn't until later
When you
on.
go
Though.
to Anaheim Lake, if you like go out to the fishing hole, you have to wear like head to toe nets because the mosquitoes are so
Hot.
It was quite the adventure.
So
Ange
you
has been converted into whatever outdoorsy woman Carrie has desired. This woman now requests to go on a camping overnight for a date night. And that's like, so they're a match made in heaven because it's all worked out.
Well, even when we were younger with our friends, we all
Went
went
camping.
camping all the time, tent camped. We even went to the gorge when it was 150 degrees outside and tent
That
camped.
almost ended our relationship.
The Price's idea of fun is sometimes different than the rest of ours, but
But yeah, I would say where I grew up in Anaheim Lake, we grew up on like a smallish acreage, and we had a freshwater creek that ran through it that was always loaded with rainbow trout since the time I was like Lincoln's age. I've been fishing, so
that explains the 5 reels that got delivered to my house so
Yeah.
I could give them to him while he got here.
I was gonna say the boys are probably stoked to have you.
We have big plans after school today to take them down to the bridge so the boys can get some fishing with a reel. I try my best, but I have a real professional here.
I was eyeballing the rigs in the garage earlier.
How are we doing?
Well, I don't know what you guys are fishing for.
Me neither. It's always.
It looks like you're fishing for bass.
I don't think there's bass in the ocean. Is there?
I'm not an ocean fisher.
Well,
I don't know if there's freshwater inlets in here everywhere,
I
ponds.
think-
So I don't know.
Well, we're
I know-
gonna go figure that out.
Carrie, we're gonna need you to go a rare live on your Instagram later.
Let's get Carrie's Instagram fired up today. My second birthday wish.
Yes.
Just small request today, guys. Not that big a deal. Okay, anyways, when you got to the NHL, who was like the person that really took you under your wing? Kind of, you went from small town to very large hello hockey world very quickly. Who really just like kind of put their arm around you and was like, I'm going to walk you into this world?
Well, I was pretty fortunate at the time. We had, like, when I came to the league was generally older. So we had a lot of, like, guys that had been around the league for quite a long time. Like Saku especially, who was the captain at the time, was just an awesome guy to look up to. And we had like several pretty young players on the team at the time. So we were just kind of like a little group, and we kind of did everything together. So I think that was a pretty easy way to get introduced to like living by yourself. I actually lived with Kyle Chipchura for half the year, and even before that, when I went to Hamilton after my last season in junior, I signed a contract and then went to go play in Hamilton for the playoffs, and I was room with Phil Sauve. He's a veteran goaltender. He'd been around the NHL for a long time, and being able to have a guy like that helped out a lot.
So going from, living like on a land with a creek and everything to Montreal and all that media and everything, what was that like for you as a young player?
I think it was like, looking back at it, it's just an exciting time. You're 20 years old, you're playing in the NHL. It's just an exciting time in your career. You finally made it to a place that you've worked to get to your whole life. So, and even for the majority of that first season, it was very successful. Like, we had a good team. I ended up going back down to Hamilton for about a month or so. I went through previously the month before. I didn't play that great. I didn't think I was playing terrible, but I got sent down. Figured it out in Hamilton, and then got called back up, and then they traded Cristobal away, which handed me the starter's role going into the rest of the season in the playoffs. So that was a pretty big step.
At what point in the locker room did you start feeling comfortable enough to put your boots on the skate stretcher and keep a lasso under your stall and start roping guys?
Oh.
Yeah, well, I traded a kid in Edmonton for that rope.
A kid?
Yeah.
Like,
well, he was
on a game?
Yeah, in warm-ups, he was sitting behind the bench, and he knew I was team roping. And obviously, he was a team roper himself, and he said, I'll trade you this rope for a stick. So I said, yeah, sure, that's a pretty good trade. And that thing hung out in my locker for the rest of my career. A few guys got roped coming in from practice.
That was one of Jeff's favorite memories, when Carrie would bring out the lasso.
Yeah. The boot stretcher, Jerv, I came up with that. I bought some Lucchese boots. I never bought these boots in my life before.
Very nice boots.
They're pretty swanky boots. But anyway, you go in there, get them all custom fitted, and I was like, okay, these things are going to be like butter. They weren't not like butter. So the only thing I could think of to stretch them out was to put them on. They have like a little stretcher deal. You can put little inserts and widen them out. I got really wide feet, so
Did it work?
Not as well as I'd hoped.
Do we still have the boots?
Yeah, they're right in the closet right now. They're last in rotation.
Wait, is this stretcher thing like for skates?
Yeah,
Is that what?
we punch out, like, guys get like bone spurs in their feet or whatever. You get a sore spot, and they'll just hit it with a heat gun and just punch it out. So
you put your boots on there instead of the skates. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it now.
So that all started happening pretty early in the career. You're like, okay, I can be my cowboy self here in the locker room and feel welcomed.
yeah, we had our equipment manager is like Patty. He's a bit of a hick himself, so he kind of understood what was going on. And Jervy's just pretty easygoing, so they didn't mind at all. And now guys get, AI scanned foot molds for their feet now, so I don't think that's skate stretcher gets used very much anymore.
So bring your boots in whenever you need.
Yeah.
Is the moral of
Maybe
the
I should
story.
buy it off of them.
Did you have any pranks on any of the guys?
I never was really much of a prankster. We've had like guys get their like shoes nailed to the floor in the change room,
I've heard about that.
get your pant leg sewn shut, stuff like that. I never really messed with guys like that a whole lot. I did Steph Waite one time. I did, we get glue sticks to melt and put the butt ends in the sticks. I melted a whole bunch of those and shoved them all the way down to the bottom of a stick once. I could see him skating around the ice.
And it's like heavy?
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
Wait, who was that to?
that was our goalie coach.
Oh, so it was the coach. It wasn't
Yeah.
somebody that would have been like affected, like Blackie or somebody.
You're like, I'm not much of a prankster, but I did.
Yeah, one time I tried it on a coach. Did anybody ever dare prank you?
Not very often.
I would
no.
be scared. Did you ever chirp anybody on the ice? Like, would you ever say anything?
2016, we got footage.
We need
What's
to post
that?
What?
When you and Jeff killed a guy?
Oh, no, I wasn't a chirper.
No,
I
you
just went
wanted-
about my business. Although I did like it when guys chirped me. I just felt like it was kind of stoking the fire more than anything.
Really?
Any notables?
Yeah.
Well, I remember when we were in Sochi, we were playing Latvia, and this guy I don't know, it must have been his job to go around and pester me, I guess. But he was skating around like, you're the weakest link on this team. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'll show you.
Some Latvian dude?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. What nerve. Gosh.
there's mental warfare out there, I guess.
Speaking of mental warfare, did you have any superstitions, or were they called routines?
I wasn't really superstitious. Like if I didn't do something, I wasn't going to be like the end of the world. But I did do like the same thing quite a bit, just because they were out of essential. Like they were essential, like taping my stick.
Yeah.
I didn't like get dressed right to left or
Nothing like that?
no.
Did you notice any superstitions that Ange had for you?
No, I don't think so.
I feel like Ange always had like the cookie jar filled.
Yeah, like anything to make his eat, like clean house, good snacks.
She was like the best at like keeping the house like. I'm like, cookies, huh? Who's filling up the cookies? She's like, we gotta bake cookies tonight. The cookie jar is empty. She took care of you.
Yeah, I remember her mentioning, I think in an interview once, that the best thing that she could be for me was consistent, and she was always very consistent for me.
Oh,
I'm gonna cry now, you guys. I didn't ask for tears on my birthday.
that's so sweet.
It's
I'm also
so
over here still laughing at the Latvian dude that told you that you
I'm like,
sucked.
let's go find this guy.
Yeah, that gold medal
Yeah.
must have shown him.
Okay, so we're gonna go through. You gotta jog back with all your teammates, and we want you to fill this out like you would a yearbook.
Okay.
Alrighty. So all your Habs. I mean, I would say you could put some San Jose Sharks teammates in there, but you don't think you know them very well.
Tie applies.
Yeah, tie applies for crossover.
Yeah.
Okay, who would you say was the biggest class clown?
Ooh, class clown. There was quite a few of them. PK was always pretty clowny. He
Yeah.
was, center of attention type of guy. Yeah, I'll go with PK with that one.
PK. And feel free to chime in too if you have any thoughts.
Okay. Who's the best dressed?
Best dressed. I always felt like Marky always dressed pretty well. A Russian guy, older guy, he always dressed pretty well. Roman Hammerlick too, always dressed pretty nice.
Plecky always.
Yeah, except on the ice and he wearing that turtleneck.
Well, now it's like most kids look like when they're wearing the new neck guard thing. I am always like, oh, Plecky style.
Yeah, like a lot of like the older guys, like early in my career, they were all
Dapper.
pretty dapper. Yeah, Sheldon Surrey, I went to camp with him a couple times. He was always pretty well dressed too.
That's a good one.
Most intelligent teammate.
Saku was pretty smart too, but
Birthday gifts. Wow.
lucky you.
I feel like Halpern was like business savvy.
Yeah, there's like
A team of them.
yeah, smart smart can be described in a lot of different ways. You can be
This
really
is true.
good. You can be really smart at something and be a brick in another. So
Smart at hockey and then off, no street smarts type thing.
yeah. Like Webbs is pretty smart too, but like I feel like Mike Condon, he was just like
All around.
he was all around pretty smart.
That door is impossible.
He's like trying to hand it to me. I was like, I can't open it.
Sorry. Break. Brain break.
Our outro will just be your gifts revealed.
Yeah, the gifts that keep getting
Birthday, Julie.
cute.
Cute.
That lasts the whole podcast.
Who's it from?
Let's see. It says, "Happy birthday, Julie. We love you so much. Hope you have a great day, Mom and Dad."
Oh,
Aw.
sweet, Mom. I know my dad did not have a hand in that, so. You're up.
Most intense competitor.
Ooh, intense competitor. Galley probably. He's just like competitive in anything. Like, he just like wants to have an argument about everything.
NASCAR.
Yeah.
The guys used to bet on NASCAR and be intense about that.
Although Paul Byron's probably right up there too.
Yes, great answer.
Yeah, those two guys are right at the top of the list.
That was that dynamite answer. Him on the golf course, Jeff says, is the most comical thing.
Yeah, he's intense. He brings that intensity with him. I like it. He's a fiery dude.
I think Nick said Galley too.
Yes. Who is the best locker room DJ?
He wants to say himself.
Yeah, I want to say myself.
You can give
I'm not-
yourself any of these.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. It depends. Like everybody's got different preferences in music, so
I'm not sure I'd be on Carrie's DJ fan list. Maybe a little bit. What was the song you sent me randomly? Big Thing Plug or whatever.
Yeah, I'm from Texas.
I'm from Texas.
I think it was just Texas.
Just get a random text one day from Carrie, and it's just the song, like Big Thug X or whatever. I'm from Texas. No response out. I'm like, oh my gosh, ha ha ha, and it was just like, here he is. This is the next time
Yeah,
I'm.
but then you saw him in concert like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
What?
He was like the opener for the Big Ass Tour or whatever with Post Malone and the other guy.
So did you then send him a text? If
So
you
then I
listened?
sent him a follow up like, our guy, it's like our thing, and no response.
I just thought you like it because it was a fella from Texas.
And I love that song now. Now it's like in my playlist because you sent it to me one time.
Joel Edmondson was a good DJ too. He was always on top of things.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's funny. Carrie literally manifested you seeing that guy in person. That's so
It
weird.
did because I was like, oh, I know this guy. I know this guy. Carrie sent it to me. I was like, what are you talking about?
Pop culture maven Carrie Price.
Yeah.
Okay. Who was the best at the extra outdoor activities that you organized?
The extra outdoor activities.
If
Like
you
the
think
ice
about
fishing and-
fishing, who was most
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm in.
Webb's. I took all the guys ice fishing. I think a couple of times. Webb's was always in for it. Polly too. I've actually taken Polly fishing a few times outside of Quebec. Polly's always down to go fishing.
Hoping to catch a bigger fish than you.
Yeah. Probably those two guys. Yeah.
Do you remember the story of Jake Evans dropping his phone?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like in the ice fishing?
Yeah. He dropped it
In the
down.
hole?
He dropped it down the hole. Yeah.
What?
It's his most
told it on
embarrassed.
here? Who told
He's
that?
so embarrassed still to that day. Like the fact that we're talking about this, he's gonna like.
It's a tough
Shrivel.
one to live down. Yeah. He's not the
Can you
first-
just
He's not the first to do it, though. I'd imagine.
can you explain just exactly? Did you see it happen?
I didn't see it happen. No, I just
Okay.
heard about it.
I don't get how it can happen. Just such a little hole in the floor.
Well, you put it like you're sitting on a bucket or something. You put it down on your lap, and you go to stand up, and just.
It's easy. It can happen.
Jake said it just like a cartoon. It just like fell right into like perfectly
Swish
into
right in the middle.
Hey, Carrie, can you get that back for me?
So good.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh.
Sorry, Jakey.
Okay, who would have been most likely to be late to the bus back in the day?
Late to the bus. I think PK actually did miss a bus once.
What was the punishment for that? Just a fine?
I think so, yeah.
Carrie's missed a bus before too, though.
Have
I
I?
remember
Oh,
Judge
yeah.
George is calling me. Like, where's Carrie? I'm like, sleeping next to me. Why? It's like, we're on the bus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's when I switched to military time.
Oh, another gift, you guys. This is just,
Coming.
here they come.
Can we get another model of it?
Yep, just pause. It's just going to be the longest episode ever because we're pausing for all my gifts.
No, it's fun. I love this.
Wow, this one's pretty.
Okay, let's see.
Who's this
I
from?
hope we get a juicy one of these times. Too bad Jeff's is always
Juice,
right
yeah,
in
did
here.
you read his letter? Hope you have an amazing...
Happy birthday, Julie. We love you. Allison and Devin.
Oh, my neighbors back in Michigan, my girls.
If there's like a not safe for work, like one, it's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, that's okay. There's not going to be one. Yeah, and DoorDash is something.
Yeah, Ange, get on it. We need to like ice Julie or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, that'd be funny. Matt, Bob, don't get any ideas while we're on there. Okay, wait. Let's skip. Instead of most superstitious,
Yeah.
Who had the best chirps? Who gave the best chirps? Am I even asking that question? Another gift.
Time to think
Julie,
about it.
Ange, you gotta get on a funny one.
Wait, you guys, this is getting embarrassing now.
No, it's not. It's great.
For strawberries. This could be a juicy one.
Wait, give them to the kids.
Happy birthday. Your gift will follow. Love, Dan and Chris.
Oh, that's so nice. My in-laws. That's really sweet.
Sweet.
We can give those if they want
want
some.
one?
Yeah.
This is really funny.
This is actually hilarious.
Chirps. I'm trying to think of like all the guys that I
Jeff.
played with that chirped a lot.
Jeff
Oh,
was
yeah.
so funny.
I don't feel like I
Are you
played with guys that did a whole lot of chirping really. Like Gally would run his mouth every once in a while, but
Shazi.
Shazi.
I'm trying to think of who else. Tyler's not really a chirper.
No, his are lame.
What
Yeah,
are-
Shazi probably ran his mouth more than your average cat.
Yeah.
What about opposing teams, or rival teams?
I didn't get chirped a whole lot, to be honest.
No.
Like Marshy,
Respect.
Brad, he's got a motor mouth out there, but nobody ever really talked to me a whole lot out there. I think they knew the gig was up if they started chirping me, but
Yeah. Just like that Latvian dude.
Yeah, that Latvian dude.
Patty
Where is he now?
Kane actually chirped me once.
Really?
Yeah, this was before the World Cup. And he wasn't really chirping me, he just said, like, it's coming or something like that.
Oh.
But nobody ever really...
Nothing ended up coming.
Yeah.
Well, I think they wound up winning that game.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
And then we ran the tournament after that.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, most likely to plan your reunion.
Jeff's probably the most organized out of that one.
So me, in
Yeah.
turn, me. I'm the answer. Yeah, well, we can give Jeff one. That's a nice accolade.
He's pretty organized, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very. Seems.
Yeah.
Who is the best road trip roommate? Because you used to have roommates a lot.
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of them. I actually roomed with my brother-in-law, Yannick Weber. We were roommates on the road for a while, so I better give that one to him.
How was that? Your sister starting to date a teammate?
Well, we weren't. I don't think.
Well,
we,
ex-teammate, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, dating a best friend.
Yeah, I was cool with it because he was actually, when we were roommates on the road, he was actually dating another girl, and I got to kind of see the way he carried himself. He's a pretty solid individual.
So you approved.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's funny. Best gift giver.
Best gift giver.
Clearly my family members and friends.
I'd probably Jeff again with that one. He always gets
Yeah.
nice bottles of wine for everyone.
He's a thoughtful guy.
He is a thoughtful guy.
Okay, wow.
Cute.
Gonna cry again.
Go, Jeff. We miss ya.
We miss you. What name comes to your mind when you think of the term brotherhood?
What name?
Yeah, like a teammate of yours that you're just like, brotherhood.
I don't know if I put brotherhood to it, but I feel like there's a lot of guys on the team, on that team that we went to the finals with. I felt like that team was probably one of the closer teams I've been a part of, and I would say that collective group was probably something I could attach the
I
term
love that.
brotherhood to it.
We'll give it to the team.
That's why we're all here right now, to be honest.
I
Is
know.
that team? So
It's
kinda cool.
crazy. Okay, well, Anne's just stepping out to babysit.
okay.
Quick
Question before we get into the next thing. I always wondered this watching you play, especially during that run. What were you thinking during the anthem and during the intros and stuff? Like, what was going through your mind? Because you were always just standing there, just like looking, and everyone's looking at you. What was going through your mind?
Stop the puck, probably.
Okay. I was like,
I don't know. I just kind of like, I think, especially at that time, I was just kind of like just standing there and kind of enjoying the moment, Because like everybody always says that all the time, but it's so like the intensity is so high, but it's such a short period of time, So I'm just I guess I was just kind of taking it all in, because.
You're such an easygoing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever asked you this, but we had Alex Nedeljkovic on a couple episodes ago, and he was giving us more into like the mind of a goalie and like different. Did you ever have like different preparation type things, or like how you would reset, or you're just like so chill, you never kind of really had to dial it back in? Like, he got in a goalie fight and then had to come back, and how do you or you get scored on, whatever, anything?
Well, my dad always told me when I was a kid, just stop the next one, So from the time I was very little, I guess I just kind of had that kind of mindset always kind of drilled into me.
Just simple.
And it's just as simple as that. You can't change what just happened, so just stop the next one and you just carry on,
And
Sometimes it's not that easy. Like, it isn't that easy. I'm making it sound easy, but, I think, whether it's in hockey or whatever comes your way in life, it's just try and get past it and focus on what's important.
Solid advice.
so cool.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay, we had some funny fan questions that I think we should get to right now. Julie, you want to hit him with the first one?
Yeah. How does Carrie feel about being ahead of the Crocs trend, and have you converted Ange to wearing Crocs?
I'm way ahead of the fashion game
Yeah.
everywhere. I've been wearing camo a long time before it was cool. Hated jeans were a thing with me a long time ago. No, she's not a Croc wearer. I don't think she'll ever be.
No Crocs. Is there a style trend or anything that you guys, Ange and you, agree on?
We both like the Western look. Camo. Yeah.
Okay, so we have that going.
Carrie, do you have a favorite piece of line change ever?
Yeah, that blue shirt that you gave me in Montreal.
The waffle?
Yeah.
Yes. We love that answer. Okay, I'm having an additional question. Since you have more time on your hands, what dream job position would you like to have in line change if you were part of it? Like, besides just number one supporter, what would, Jeff is great in fulfillment and logistics. When he's around, I have him take him boxes, What would you like to do?
Returns and exchanges.
That too. You would probably take the job of head of headwear.
Oh, perfect. We need a new head of headwear, so
Yeah, you do.
get ready.
Like designing the hats and stuff?
Carrie has a thing against our hats, but everybody else loves them, so it's his weird shaped head or something. So
I do have a pretty big head.
We're doing
What's your,
some
do
pretty.
you just not like the fit of the line change hats? What's your vendetta against the line change hats?
Yeah, tell the head of headwear to her face.
I find that a lot of hats aren't deep enough.
Same. Get one that we can get. You really don't like this? What do you wear it on? I wear like a 3. My head's big. Yes, me too. You're a 4.
It's her birthday. You have to do anything, Carrie. Oh yeah, that looks
great on
great.
you.
You don't like it? You better like it. There's something like this coming for.
I love
For his
it.
retirement party.
It's cute. Put your sunglasses on. And it's like.
Yeah, it's really cute.
But I do like your new Bass Pro Shop hat.
Just got it this morning.
Yeah, I got it this morning.
I got the same one, but mine was camo.
Is that a
Yeah, that's
horseshoe?
good.
A
Like, I
horseshoe
don't know.
on the
Like,
side?
I guess I'm just like picky about like brims.
Yeah, because that one was a little.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
well, I
folded.
bent it. We can
Yeah.
give him a perfect one. Good God.
Yeah, we're more of a
Okay.
flat brim.
Well, that was your job interview, and you got it. So
Thanks.
you
I don't know.
for you.
I'm not like very like. I don't have like a huge like. I know what hats I like. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
same.
Like there's certain brands of hats that I like, and they just fit, and I put a hat on. I won't even look in the mirror until I know what it feels like, and then I'll go look in the mirror. That's like feeling's the first thing I think of when I put a hat on.
It's like sunglasses. Like
Yeah.
it's like a very particular thing on your face. You know.
Well, you guys are looking at the new head of headwear for line change. Now that interview went well, and his job is his. So thank you for
We're
that.
just gonna see a bunch of flat brimmed fans in the stands. Okay, this one made me laugh, so we got to ask you it because it's coming from a mom who said her son will be mortified that she asked this. She said, "Carrie, can you please drop your skincare routine?"
I know what she's laughing about. I put moisturizer on my face like once every like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
Whenever I see peeling, it's time for lotion.
Okay. And he's
If
probably just
only.
using like hand lotion or something.
If only it was that easy.
Meanwhile, he's getting his wife this killer laser for her birthday, and they're gonna have all the things going here soon.
Wow,
Yeah, he is. We'll get a picture of that too.
that's cool.
Okay, how proud are you of Cole Caulfield being the next Mr. Saturday Night?
I don't know if I'm excited about it. I'm kind of upset about it, to be honest.
It's not you,
No.
Junior,
Yeah,
Mr.
Junior.
Saturday Night.
Yeah. How about like we could call him Mr. Saturday Evening?
I like that. Cole deserves the evening. You're the night.
Yeah, the title hasn't moved on. We'll rename the title.
I like that.
That's funny.
All right. Are we done with these fan questions?
Yes.
Okay. Quickly, life after hockey. We have to touch on it. You answered kind of what you miss most about the game and like the camaraderie. When you're looking back at your career, can you think of one moment that like gives you chills that you can still just like feel that energy?
Yeah, probably playing in the finals. Well, actually, probably even more so than the finals. That first game that we played in Vegas, you know, we were playing in kind of like empty buildings for the first 2 rounds, and then we went down to Vegas, and the game was packed, and we're coming through the tunnel. That's probably one of the most like energized I've ever felt coming through a tunnel going onto the ice. So
Yeah.
Chills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great answer. In this new like phase of your life, I guess, what has surprised you most about this post hockey like phasing into that world, like new routine, has there been anything like, oh, this is different, or no?
I think probably the thing that surprised me the most is probably how little time I have. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
It keeps them busy.
you know, like I was just thinking, you know, you're in such a rigid schedule playing hockey. You're playing every day, practicing every day, and then you think when you're done, you're just going to be like kind of sitting around all the time. It's just not the case, and I have a pretty easy time filling up my time as it is. So it's just kind of how busy I've kept post hockey, and I've been pretty content with where I'm at. So I guess you know, it's just like it's been a blessing to be able to just be at home and watch the kids grow because it's going so fast.
I was going to say, how are you as a hockey dad?
It's actually fun. I really enjoyed watching all three of our kids kind of find themselves and what they enjoy doing. I'm like my dad, I think, a lot in that way. I really enjoy going to watch the kids play. Even my dad still comes to the kids' activities, and we watch them together. So I've been spending a lot of time with him doing that, and it's been a real blessing.
What do you think Ange gets most annoyed about with you being home all the time?
She's sitting right there. Why don't you ask her?
I want to hear your answer first.
What do I think she gets annoyed with me at?
Oh, she's like, let me go.
She's probably got a laundry list. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty good.
No, you are now.
There's always a
But for a
transition.
while, it was very much like, what are we doing today? Like
Oh.
my little shadow there for a little bit.
Oh, that's kind of like when summer hits, you know, like with all the guys when it was even, and then it's like they're there, and you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I got my man shop cave thing outside, so we get a little bit of separation.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't really have like a whole lot of free time, and if I do, I'm always doing something. I've always been
You're doing returns and
Yeah.
stuff for line change.
I'm a real big hobbyist, and I get really into the rabbit holes and everything that I do. So
I was going to say, is there a new one that you developed post-career?
no, I kind of cycle through them seasonally, really. You know, like fall's going to be hunting season, but I usually everything that I'm getting ready for is usually half a season ahead. So like if it's hunting season I'm getting ready for, it's in the middle of the summer or even in the spring. So I don't know, I keep pretty busy and keep ahead of things.
I don't know. He told me about building fishing rods from ground up yesterday, so that might start happening. He might start an Etsy shop there.
Are you like tinkering in your little cave?
Yeah,
What are we doing?
very much a tinkerer. Yeah, I can't leave anything alone. I'm a goalie, so I could never leave equipment alone.
It's funny. Can you explain that Airstream, or is it called an Airstream that you guys have?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a 30-foot trailer, and we've been taking it out the last couple of summers. We got it from Washington State. The kids really enjoy camping. I'm so thankful for that. They enjoy it. They love sitting around the fire outside. It's glamping, like it's not camping. But
We do a mix of real camping though too.
They do a great job.
Well-rounded.
They are well-rounded kids, and they have two fearless leaders to take them on those.
Glamps.
One day, Trees will join you, and it'll be a real circus at the campground.
But we usually camp next to a body of water.
Yeah.
So we
Bring
bring
paddleboards.
paddle boards and stuff and
Fishing
make it
rods.
fun. Bike.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, it actually is, yeah.
Nice.
We usually get pretty decent weather in the summertime in BC too. There's usually not that many bugs, and we got a few nice places that we like to frequent, so it's nice.
Nice. Love that.
All right. Well, we're gonna end up. Let's wrap this up with quick hitters.
Yep.
Well, we like to call it our quick shootout question. So you're good at shootouts. So here we go. What is Carrie listening to right now? Like when you I know you drive a lot. So what are you podcasts, songs?
I kind of rotate. Sometimes I'll be listening to music. Most of the time I'm listening to a podcast. Meat Eater podcast is probably one that I listen to the most.
Meat Eater?
Yeah.
Okay.
The show on Netflix.
Is that-
Is
Yeah,
that
it's
on Netflix?
it's a show on Netflix.
Oh,
But they
okay.
have like a trivia section in it too. I find that pretty interesting.
You
too.
like it? You love trivia?
I'm not very good at trivia, no, but
Oh,
Outdoorsy, like
yeah, but
hunting,
it's like
fishing trivia.
I like
I was-
that.
I was going to say, is that like a hunting type of podcast? Like
Yeah.
what? Okay.
yeah. There's a couple of hunting podcasts that I like listening to. I just like learning about stuff, you know, so I do find I get a lot of valuable information from those.
And then you're listening to Never Offside. besides that. Okay.
Constantly.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Does Ange ever go into the cave where you're tinkering?
Rarely.
I make appearances once in a while.
I still am waiting for my tour. You guys were supposed to send a video tour.
Carrie doesn't want me to take any video, nothing out there.
It's
Like the-
just-
it's like the
Wow.
Bat Cave, yeah.
It's just me.
Top
It's usually a
secret.
mess. That's usually the problem.
That's okay.
But
Oh.
the kids go out with you. You have good snacks.
Yeah, I got to make sure. I
You
get
do
the-
your own snacks in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free for all.
Funhouse
of it.
snacks, they call it.
Yeah.
Wow. This is.
Wait.
I'm just getting on.
What are the snacks?
Yeah.
Like,
What do we eat?
What is
Junk.
this? Yeah, junk food.
Yeah. Just for
It's
when
like
you
get
need-
in
it's
the
like
house,
it's
so-
like health store junk food.
Yeah.
mm.
And
Oh.
cheddar bunnies and
Oh, and not like Cheetos or
No.
like no.
Like healthy Cheez-Its
yeah.
type
okay.
thing.
Yum. I'm running. Running out to the snack shack.
But like Link is starting to like, he's getting to an age where like fishing is starting to interest him, you know. So he actually likes going in there and
time buys.
fiddling around with stuff. Yeah.
Looking at your shop. Oh, here
Oh,
comes
cool.
the guy.
Oh, hi. If you could pick, what would a theme song be for Ange?
Theme song? Oh, "Wrapped Up in You" by Garth Brooks. I remember listening to that song when
kids.
we were just kids.
Oh,
That's so sweet.
yeah, that's really nice.
Aw. Okay, what are you two watching right now?
We were watching Landman together.
Yeah, so are we. What happened to that? Is it over? Where are we at?
I go.
Carrie comes in so late from his man cave that we
And
watch
just
like
long
one
gone.
episode a week if we're lucky.
No, that's home improvement time. Then
Okay,
there's
then we have to go to fall asleep show, which is home improvement.
yeah, Ange has a fall asleep show. She has like a show she's watching, and then she has a fall asleep show, which is like anything of Home Improvement, Gilmore Girls,
Friends.
Full House,
How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother, like feel good, nostalgic shows. So if it's in that time frame,
Okay, like it's a way more intense Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Pre-game, what was your coffee or tea order?
I usually just had black coffee when I woke up for my pregame snack. I'd have a black coffee, and that was pretty well it.
did you eat anything?
Maybe some toast. I usually ate so much at pregame meal that I was pretty like I'd have some light snacks
You were
throughout the
good.
rest of the night, and I was just like good. I didn't like playing with like a bunch of stuff in my stomach, you know.
And pre-game meal was just the standard
Yeah, spaghetti.
Chicken, pasta.
Yeah,
chicken.
salmon
Protein and
actually.
pasta.
I usually eat the salmon on the road.
Nice.
Chicken at home. We had like these same gigantic chickens that were like this big.
Yeah, I remember those.
Remember those things?
Yeah, I'd always
So
ask
you-
for another one.
Not organic.
No,
No.
no, injected with all the things
They
to
were
make them.
they were juicing those chickens. for
Yeah.
sure.
Any way you can get it, man.
It's crazy. And then were you a good napper after?
Yeah, I usually nap for like the long like remember when I was like 20s, I'd nap for like 3 hours. That's like a full
That
night.
was your hardest transition, not playing anymore, is giving up the naps.
Yeah.
You really struggled with that.
Yeah, usually like 1 o'clock would roll around and I'd be like
Muscle memory.
just be a zombie for 2 hours.
It's usually nap time. It's like the toddler transition.
But then like as later on in my career, my naps got shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
45 minutes, I
Kids
think.
would wake you up.
45 minutes. Wow. That's
So we didn't go from a 3-hour nap to no nap time. That would have been
that would have been
jarring.
aggressive. What was your favorite arena to play in, like besides Bell Center?
I like playing in TD Garden in Boston. Always enjoyed going there.
That would be a big crowd. And Ange always
A
liked
loud
going to
one.
games there.
Yeah, big top crap.
I was always,
These two both love like yappers fueling their fire. That is their bond. What is one chore you love and one chore you hate? Like you're like, oh, we're going to this.
chores I love.
But you
Yeah.
don't mind.
Getting firewood.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chores I hate. I'm not a big fan of laundry.
Dishes. I
Yeah.
feel like it's more so.
Yeah.
Dishes or laundry?
Well, the kids are starting to do the dishes
Yeah,
now.
we
So.
had to discuss dish duty in therapy.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah, I did.
We did.
Well, she uses like 18 cups a day.
That's why you
Yeah.
should just let her use disposable. Carrie hates paper plates, does not let them in his house for good measure. I get it, I respect it, but honey, when you have 4 boys, I ain't doing that many dishes.
I'm not judging you.
Yeah, I know you aren't. You're not a judgy guy.
Favorite outdoor activity in Quebec?
Turkey hunting, probably. Lots of turkeys in Quebec. You got onto that my last.
Can you do a turkey call for us?
Not.
Not without,
Not
you have to have a
without-
gadget.
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't have any of those laying around? You want me to go tinker in the garage? See what I find?
You'll get one at Bass Pro Shop.
Well, yes, you can get one after this.
Were any of these the Thanksgiving turkey? Like, did you?
No, like.
Wild turkey is nasty.
Oh,
I wouldn't say
okay.
it's
It's
not.
no butterball.
It's not a butterball turkey you're getting at the grocery store. Like they're wild critters. They're running around. They're eating forage. They're not just getting injected with steroids and getting fed.
Carrie, yeah, Carrie and Ange, though, when they would host like Thanksgivings, you would provide some sort of wild.
We do
Game.
elk roasts for most holidays.
So we
Yeah.
got Ange would do her pumpkin pies, and Carrie would provide.
Good memory.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was because of the elk, but remember the one where we all got sick after? It was like I think one of the last Thanksgivings that you guys. I feel like we all got sick after. It wasn't from your elk. It was probably from the pie.
Probably from, or the 3 bottles of wine.
Or the 3 bottles of wine. Yeah.
Carrie, has Bass Pro or anyone ever hit you up like to be a sponsor?
No, but I was.
He was wishing for this trip. It would.
Maybe this will get me in.
You were with Yeti.
Hey, Bass Pro.
Yeah, Yeti, anything?
Yeah, I've done some work with Yeti. I used to be sponsored by a company called Sportium, which is kind of like a Sport Check in Quebec. And their sister company is Sail, which is an outdoor sports store in Brossard. I think you might have been in there before.
Mm-hmm. I have, yeah.
You've done a couple of commercials in the last little bit, though. That Ford commercial.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a more fitting commercial for you.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Do you like doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's not bad. The commercial itself was filmed in Canmore.
Oh.
And it was like
Oh,
minus
cool.
35 out that day. I felt really bad for some of the TV crew. I don't think they were quite ready for it.
Mm.
Because they were out there all day and they're like blue in the lips.
Their show must go on.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fitting.
How often does Ange have any ideas for you that you're like, all right, Ange, like just cool it, like we're not gonna do this?
Yeah, being head of shipping and packing and line.
Just where we want him. He's gonna start signing notes into it.
And we don't talk about his deals because he'll take like an outdoor store and be like, I'm just going to do it for all merch. I'm like, thanks.
Thanks.
That's funny. What's your all-time cheat meal in Montreal? Cheat day meal.
We used to get this place called Rouge,
what I was thinking.
Chinese food.
Yes, I
It
remember.
was so good. These peanut butter dumplings, I could eat 100 of them.
Oh, we couldn't. That would kill Jeff, and then you could have happy pinned him.
Oh, have you even had those, Julie?
No,
Oh my gosh.
not allowed.
Next time we're there for a photo shoot, they're delicious.
Perfect.
Damn, I was just there last week.
We're
That would
gonna
have
go
been.
invite it. Perfect.
Either that or like ice cream. I love ice cream.
Solid.
Yeah.
Love it.
Who do you think? Who is one of the hardest players to read or play against?
To read?
Yeah, like when they're coming down there.
They're coming in for a shot.
When you're doing your thing, you're like, oh shit, no.
Well, Ovi was tough to stop just because he'd come down and he'd just rip it. He didn't care. I don't think he really cared where it was going. It was just coming at you hard. He was always hard to get a read on.
Great answer. Is there a goalie? Sorry, Pat, is there a goalie in the league right now that reminds you of yourself? You're like, oh, looks like me.
Yeah, Jacob Fowler.
Yeah?
He reminds me, like I watch him play and he just reminds me a lot of me when I was his age.
Have you talked to him like about? Are you like about that? Like,
Yeah, like I've talked to their goalies a little bit. I've talked to Jacob a couple of times. I don't want to like. I'm not trying to like get in his head or anything. You know,
Yeah.
Just, like I gave him my number, and if he ever has any questions about anything, I'm always open to help out in any way I can. But you know, he looks like he's doing just fine to me.
Cool.
who was the funniest goalie opponent?
Fun, you know, Flower. Yeah, Flower's always being a goofball out there. He's always fun to play against, and I always really enjoyed watching him play.
Jeff,
He would have never like pranked you, right? Like,
He like made fun of you on the ice once. Like, you remember when you were like in your mode of like doing your little poses on the ice, and then one time he did your pose.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
It was
Yeah.
just like crossing his arms like this after a good save, and then Flower did it.
Yeah.
Wait, I love that.
wait,
But-
so he copied you? Like, what did
Yeah.
he do?
Well, we were playing Pittsburgh. I think this was like my second year in the league. I stopped a penalty shot, to win the game in the shootout, and I just went like this after I stopped it.
Like I'm a badass.
Ooh,
And
I have
then-
never
and then-
seen that.
It's who with your face when you had a few poses.
Okay.
And then I think Flower, the next time Pittsburgh came in, they beat us in a shootout, and he did the same thing.
Did you just like tip your hat? Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Jeff says he still comes out for practice quite a bit as like their e-bug in Minnesota, and he's like he could play tomorrow.
I'm
Like,
sure he probably could, yeah.
he's like he is still
Got it.
so good. So it's pretty funny.
That's funny. Him just going like this after, and
We should get a montage together of that.
yeah, there has to be footage of
Yeah.
that. That's funny. Love that.
If not hockey, what would you have done?
I probably would have worked in wildlife, probably. That would be my biggest guess. I like
Like in a state park?
park ranger. I probably would have been like a conservation officer or something.
Like teaching people like what leaves are what and what like birds or
No, like conservation officers are like game wardens, essentially.
Paper plate people. They hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Okay, so I'm picturing like the Yogi Bear, like top hat, curry brush.
or he's a mountie. Could be.
Oh, this is our life. We just have fun laughing at and with Carrie. Okay, one piece of advice for athletes preparing for life after sports.
Have a plan before it happens.
Yeah?
You know, like I think, like growing up for me, I always knew that.
Sorry.
That was very funny. I've been trying to keep a straight face.
Sorry, we're trying to be real serious here, and we have a kid in the back. They live. Okay,
It's
so
like the
what-
most serious question we've asked.
Yeah.
Live, go, baby.
That's all right.
But I'd
No,
say
it's
just
cute.
like when I was growing up, like going to the Western Hockey League, I knew I was going to have schooling paid for after hockey if it didn't work out. So just having a plan when you're done playing, because it happens for everyone eventually, you know. So just be thinking ahead of life after hockey, because there is life after hockey, and your body's important. So take care of that too.
Great advice. Well, CP, that's all we got for you. It was fun.
It was fun.
Thanks for joining us.
Hi. Yeah,
This
thank
is
you
the
for
best
a rare
gift.
podcast. Thanks, Ange. Come on, Ange. Let's
Yeah,
say bye.
Ange,
Thank you,
we're the
Price
three
family.
best friends that anyone could have. Okay, now we have to send Carrie off to Bass Pro because
Yep.
we owe him one. But thank you again
Have
for
fun.
joining us. We appreciate it, guys.
That was so fun to talk to Carrie. I mean, that's probably the most I've ever talked to Carrie. So I know you do all the time. But he's just, he's
He's
got
the
some
best.
funny stories.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you get that guy going, and it's just like the stories are all there, and it's just fun. Like me and Ange sitting in the corner like that is our life. And when we're with Carrie, it's just such a fun banter, and just giggling.
I mean, it
the
makes
whole
sense
time.
why you four are best friends, because it's the exact same vibe. It's two stoic, kind of outdoorsy guys.
We're
you know?
we're gonna really have a time when my husband has more time. There's gonna be lots of adventure to be had, and I'm gonna make our way back to Kelowna and see the man cave myself, since he won't send a video.
No.
So yeah, and maybe after this pod, he'll finally get that Bass Pro Shop sponsorship.
Seriously, I hope so.
If that's the thing we can manifest out of here, let's do it. Let's do it for our friends.
I would love to be a fly on the wall at your family dinner, though, because it's definitely just you and Ange laughing and giggling and talking the whole time, and then those two just like,
yeah, it's like me yapping, like poking fun at everything, and then Carrie and Jeff subtly like poking me back, and then everybody's laughing at me, and Ange is just fueling everybody's fire. It's just
and then
the best.
Jeff and Carrie just have some funny one-liners here and there.
Yes, they're just like silent assassins. They're just funny, quiet guys. So it's a great time. That was fun.
I gotta admit, you have to take us behind the scenes of them going into the crowd at this game coming up.
Oh, stay tuned. I'm still like, how are we gonna pull this off? Like this is gonna be interesting. So
I don't even understand. If I was a hockey fan and I saw Carrie coming down the concourse buying a hot dog, I'd be like,
I know. And there's no reprieve, because we have no family room access. We have nothing. Like, we are going as opposing team fans. So I'm like, I have no safe space for us, like, at all. So
is this weird? Is this a weird thing? Like, could Florida give you access to like the family room for this one game, just to, in case?
Probably could, and I probably will message them, because I would also love to go say goodbye to like the ladies that work in the room and the guys that check us in the front, because they're all my buddies. So I would love that. So I'm gonna ask, because that would be also just to have like a backup plan. Like, what if he does get like bombarded? I don't know. I'm gonna be like, back off.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's kind of, there will be like Minnesota fans. There's going to be like huge fans of the sport, and if you're a fan of the sport,
I just can't wait. I literally am like giddy about watching a game beside him for some reason. So
you're going to be like asking him like questions about like,
what are you looking at right now? What are you looking? Are you looking at the goalie? Or are you
was that a good shot?
Yeah. What is he supposed to be doing right now? Did Jeff mess up? No.
Yeah. How's Jeff doing right now?
How's he doing? It's going to be great.
That's really fun. Well, I can't wait. Take us behind the scenes.
I will.
One more thing. This was your best work, I have to say. This is like the coolest hoodie.
Oh my gosh, the ode to Barbie. Yes, I kept one because I was obsessed with it.
It's so cute. So the Sharks hosted a Barbie themed night on Saturday, and the Line Change girlies made,
come on, Sharky, let's go party. Yeah.
How cute is that? I wore that during the interview at the Tank, and
you look so adorable in it, and I'm truly obsessed with it. I kept one for myself to wear.
The amount of people that were just like, that's great.
Well, Sharks colors are actually really fun to work with. And it's a good time. So they turned out great. So glad you love it.
It's the hot pink. It's the Barbie pink, not like a weird pink. Yeah. So it's
so fun. But
love it.
Yeah,
all right,
awesome.
Well, go celebrate your birthday.
Yes, gonna go celebrate. Thanks for listening, everybody, to this super fun episode. Go catch past episodes. Currently, Angela's episode, back from season 1, where we kicked off this thing, holds spot number 3 in most listened. So let's take this one to the bank here.
Yeah.
And let's get this one up there and listen to all of our past episodes, because there's some good ones that you might have missed.
40 episodes ago or something. Like,
yeah, I don't remember when we'd be like, episode 13.
Yeah, and our producers got mad that
they were like, you're going to lose track.
You sound like robots. Welcome to Never Offside, episode 12.
Thanks for listening to this week's birthday episode.
Yes.
We'll catch you next week, guys.
Happy birthday.
Thanks for the love.